John 911, what's the location of the emergency?
Sandy Hook School. I think there's somebody shooting in here. Sandy Hook School.
Okay, what makes you think that?
Because somebody's got a gun. I saw a glimpse of somebody. They're running down the hallway.
Okay.
They're still running. They're still shooting. Sandy Hook School, please. Oh.
Barbara. John 911, what's the location of your emergency?
Sandy Hook Elementary School, 12 Dickinson Drive.
Okay, I've got that. What's going on down there?
I believe they're shooting at the front glass.
Sounds like there are gunshots in the hallway. I'm a teacher in the school.
Okay, where are you in the school right now?
I am in the school. I'm in the classroom.
Okay, do you have everyone in the classroom and the door?
All of my students. The door is not locked yet. I have to go.
Okay,
I have to go
lock the door. Tell me, keep everybody calm, keep everybody down, get everybody away from the windows, okay?
Yes. Okay.
Where are you in the school?
I'm in the hallway when you walk in the front entrance if you take a left.
Okay. All right. Try to lock down the school, okay?
We're trying, okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. I guess I'll go ahead and start recording now.
Oh, now? Well,
Yeah,
well
yeah.
you get a little extra on here because I've been.
Sweet. Oh man.
But yeah, it was an interesting listen to the kind of a kid this guy here was. And I am refraining from saying what I really think about him, so we're just gonna call him this kid or this guy. At least for the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was strange from the get-go. Didn't understand communication. Apparently he didn't feel the same way we do, not only emotionally but physically. Had that weird thing where you don't feel pain at all.
Well, with him it was kind of the opposite. It was like he was super sensitive. Like his mom had to cut off all the tags on his clothing.
Well, not from that little doctor's thing that I was just listening to. You know, I mean, like 5 minutes ago. I just had to go back and find out where it was. But, well, being irritated by something and feeling pain is, like I said, that's a complete difference.
True.
But other side of the spectrum, but it's still, not feeling, the same as most people do.
That's true.
That's probably more on the OCD. Because that is one of the things that trigger the hell out of me is having a tag in the back of my fucking shirt. I can't stand that shit.
I understand. It's like when I'm smoking a cigarette or somebody smokes a cigarette and they let the ash get really long. That shit fucking drives me up the wall. It's like
it's gonna fall.
It's like the scariest part of the original Shining when she's sitting there talking to the social worker and she's smoking a cigarette. It's fucking insane, dude. It's the most suspenseful part of the whole movie. So, all right, guys, this is because you're catching us on the on a weird part of we were just chatting before we started. We're going to be talking about Adam Lanza and the Sandy Hook school shooting massacre. Happened in 2012. If I got my numbers right. Yep, happened in 2012. He killed his mother, and then he killed 28 at the school. Most of whom were children, correct? Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This one actually, I've got a heart of stone, and this one pulled at the strings a little bit.
When this one happened, Storm was like 2 years old, maybe 3, and she had been 1, 2. Yeah, she'd been 2. No, 3 years old. And, dude, it fucked with me. Like, the other shootings that happened up until that point, I was kind of, I don't know, I guess you could say I was aloof about it at that time in my life. But it's shit that happened way out there. It didn't affect me. But that was the first one that, like, it brought tears to my eyes. I kind of, it bothered me, like, severely bothered me. Mostly because of how young the kids were,
Well, sad from my perspective is that unfortunately, for 2 reasons. I didn't even know this one happened This was at a time where I was ignoring reality and sitting in my own little cave and, fuck the world kind of position in my life. So I heard about this basically when was it fuckhead Alex Jones started, becoming popular about it, and the news brought it in because of him.
Yeah.
And I looked at that. I was like, wait a minute, who the hell can be doing some stupid shit like this? And I had to look into it. And I'm like, wow, no, this motherfucker's crazy. There ain't no damn way in hell. So
Yeah,
nobody's going to pretend this shit. So, but
I never
yeah, that's a
understood.
complete different discussion. But yeah, that's how I found out about it actually.
Yeah, it's
There you go.
we're gonna have to get into we're gonna. I didn't even research into the whole Alex Jones bit, but we're gonna definitely have to talk about him after we talk about everything else with it.
Yeah, I didn't look into it. That's just mentioning. That's how I found it. Yeah, I ain't. Yeah, the looking into Alex Jones that I did when I found out about this and was looking into what happened, it was enough for me to know I don't want to know nothing else about Alex Jones.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
um,
mean, I was already in my, fuck the world, and that's the kind of thing that I find when I first go looking back at the world as Alex Jones. Yeah, I was right. Fuck the world.
so Adam Lanza was born on April 22nd, 1992, to his parents Peter and Nancy. Right. His mother would often take him and his brother shooting, and never suspected Adam of being dangerous. Um, he attended the school he would later end up shooting, but school gave him like extreme anxiety problems, especially in middle school. Um, one time it got so bad he had to be taken to the ER. So I mean, he had some issues, and like even in his kid pictures, the dude looks fucking born weird. I mean, it's just
Right?
he always had the weirdest haircuts. He always like his eyes are too wide. Like he's got Charlie Manson eyes.
Yeah, every photo I've seen of him, and even when he was a little kid, it was just, I guess his mom was right when she told the babysitter, don't leave this one alone.
Yeah, don't turn your back.
Uh, but that's the kind of feeling I get just looking at him when he was a little kid and to the weeks before his last picture before he, went and did this crap. Now that fucker looked crazy.
He had not one day where he looked normal. Even the video, I saw a video of him at his Dance Dance Revolution thing, and
Yeah.
he he even did that awkwardly. Like he did it really well, but he was awkward. It was just his feet was moving. The rest of his body looked like a stick.
Yeah, it's like he ain't even trying. Look, motherfucker, I ain't even got to keep my balance. I'm just that damn good. Yeah.
Uh,
And then cuts it off, walks around, fucking goes up, cuts off the camera, or does something stupid in front of the guy that was holding the camera. I don't know if he even had a friend at that time, but looked like somebody was holding the camera.
I think
But
he had
yeah,
it. I think well, no, I think he had set it down because he walks away from the game and heads towards the camera and grabs it. So I think he had been filming it on like his phone or something.
I thought so too, but I could have swore I saw that damn thing move. I might have to go back and watch it just in case, but
Or
yeah, I
maybe
could have
somebody
swore I saw the
bumped the
camera
table or
move.
whatever it was on.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he bumped it while he was reaching for it. I'm not sure. But that's what made me think, yeah, maybe he had a friend. I don't know. Did he?
Ah,
It'd be
it'd
odd
be
if he
hard.
did.
He went to high school for a little bit. Um, he was described there as intelligent but nervous and fidgety, and actually made honor roll. But his honor roll. His anxiety just kept getting worse though until he was only going sometimes, and eventually his mother just said, "Fuck it, we're going to homeschool him."
Yeah.
He got his
They even
GED.
bought him his own personal Dance Dance Revolution game complete with the floor mat.
Oh yeah. He managed to get a GED and ended up going to Connecticut State University. Uh, he was later diagnosed with a sensory integration disorder, Asperger's syndrome, and OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. So that's just the basic rundown of his life before the shooting. There are some other things that I I dug up. Well, I found this I'm a little bit concerned about the guy who made the website, and it's like a database searchable library of all documents and materials related to school shooters, just school shooters. Um, it's really weird, but they had everything from his Reddit history, his chat history, the books he wrote in fifth grade about a killer granny with a gun in her cane killing kids. A lot of notes from like different teachers and whatnot, and therapists and what have you. Um, he also wrote a 35-page. It was only supposed to be 500-word essay, but he wrote a 35-page essay as part of his application to, I think it was Colorado State University. I could be wrong about that. Might have been Connecticut. But
he got on earlier about his dissertation.
yeah, and the entire thing was about pedophilia. He spent 35 pages talking about how children are naturally sexual and how a child who's not being forced or raped, it should be perfectly okay. And he was advocating for pedophile rights. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The dude had some pedophilic leanings. Also, in his Reddit threads, which before he did all this, he deleted them in different, like, stages. But most of them, like, were able to be dug up by, I guess, internet archaeologists. Where he has a lot of discussions talking about pedophilia, and people will like be on the chat like, does it seem like he's like does it seem like Smiggles is a bit of a pedophile? And
Yeah, see, this undermines my original idea of his innermost thoughts when he was conversing with folks over the radio. I originally thought this guy was fairly insightful, but I didn't know about this part until we had a brief discussion over it. And I got to rethink myself a little bit. I don't know how much insight you have to be able to write that much about pedophilia.
he was having chat conversations about how he would like to go to playgrounds and what have you, and watch toddlers while he licked his lips. So he already has some weird thoughts in his head about kids. One is a violent tendency that mostly like it. I thought originally that it was just in those books. It was, he was just writing horror books or whatever. But after seeing the rest of it, no, he had some sort of weird fixation on children, not just a sexual one or a violent one, but some kind of combination of the two.
It definitely sounds that way. I don't know how you got to be, how fucked up you got to be. Actually, writing about is one thing, but it should be a very short topic. I mean,
35
it's
page
wrong.
essay,
Done.
when all you had to write was 500 words, a 35-page essay defending pedophilia.
I don't think I could come up with 500 words against it. It's wrong. Done.
That's all it needs to be said.
Yeah, don't do that. Conversation over. But yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that's that. Yeah. And like I said, I thought he was fairly insightful with his whole, the interpretation of Travis the Chimp. It was like, damn,
Well,
this guy's
yeah.
got it locked.
That he was kind of insightful.
Man, it did make sense. I mean, the chimp was raised as a human and in society, and still went fucking nuts.
Exactly.
Are we any different? Yeah, not by much.
I actually looked up some on that chimp. He was absolutely right. He was absolutely right. Of course, he read the whole thing off kind of like a robot, but he was very verbose. He had he told the story. Like, if he had a podcast, I probably would have listened to him. Like, he had this like almost radio voice, but it was just very monotone, but very informed. He expressed his thoughts on it like very clearly, and they were pretty logical. Like, basically that the chimp had been kind of raised in a way that it shouldn't have been.
Yeah, and what do we expect for it to happen when you take an animal and raise it in society? And human babies are no less chimp-like than a chimp. They're brought up to accept this society as the norm, and it don't always work out. What is the difference between a human and a chimp? There's not much difference. Intelligence level's a little bit higher. And yeah, I do mean a little bit. Yeah, but it- it's yeah. How do we make it in society without cracking? There's something there, and apparently all of us don't, because this kid existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he saw a correlation with himself and Travis.
I think he did. I think he empathized with Travis a little bit. And I
Well, I
think
empathized with Travis a little bit, but damn.
yeah, yeah. And apparently the woman who owned Travis, the chimp, had never seen, I don't know, Tarzan or Planet of the Apes or any or Congo, that's another one. Um, they'd never seen any of these movies where apes are tearing people apart, and like Tarzan specifically, they were chimps.
Yeah, I mean, they are one of the more violent ones of the bunch.
Right? Yeah.
So,
When they
well,
turn
like I
violent, they're
said, not very
ridiculously
much
strong.
different than us.
When they turn violent, they're ridiculously strong. They have fangs. Like, it's why would you want one that you keep as a pet and then give it that much? Like, it's just insane.
Yeah, don't
But
mess with
not as
anything that can
insane.
hold you with its feet and beat you with its hands.
But at least it makes sense when you think about it. One thing that does not make sense is Adam Lanza. Um,
Absolutely.
so he had this thing where like he got really pissy about his mom going in his room or anybody going in his room, as kids kind of like him tend to be. Um, so she just wouldn't go in there, and I kind of feel like had she gone in there and seen the shit that he was pulling together, you know, like he had been stashing her guns. He had been taking her guns and stashing them and shit.
Had she taken her own fucking advice and not turned her back on him.
Right? This would have all been different. Sometime before 9:30 on December 14th, he shot and killed his mother with a 22 caliber rifle. Um, they later found her body clad in pajamas with 4 gunshot wounds to her head. I had heard a couple of things where the 4 gunshot, like the 4 bullets to her head, was one for each person member of the family.
Yeah, I'd heard that. I
I could
don't
buy that.
understand why that would be, but
Well,
yeah,
after
okay.
reading some of his like ramblings and whatnot, I can see that. It makes sense in his world. Um, so I guess he steals her car, and he goes to the school, which is fuck. I had how far away it was, but
But a few miles.
yeah, because he got there at 9:35. So the front doors of the school were locked. So he like shot through the glass panel next to it. He left. He went with his shotgun and pistols and rifles, but he left the shotgun in the car for some fucking reason. I really don't know. It seems like the shotgun would have been the ideal weapon to get through that glass fucking window.
Any gun's going to get you through a piece of glass.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, he was wearing black clothing, yellow earplugs, sunglasses, and a utility vest. There were some reports that he had been wearing body armor, but that was bullshit. They probably just thought that the utility vest was body armor.
Yeah, and I heard they were describing him as a person with a mask.
I
Of
didn't say
course, they
anything about a
also
mask.
originally, yeah, that was just the 911 calls. There was a masked person that came into the school and started shooting. I don't know if he actually had a mask or not. They never showed, and it never came up in the police
He
reports
probably
that I
looked.
listened
He
to.
probably looked just too fucking weird to be a person.
That might be.
Like this. This got to be a mask. That's
Mm.
got to be a mask.
People will see what they want to see, and well, okay, yep, that's a mask.
And like his
'Cause-
grin, he had this weird grin that literally looked like the letter U. So just imagine him grinning, ear to ear, fucking teeth out, eyes bugged. Like
yeah,
you would have
Yeah,
thought,
he-
yeah.
he's- you can't explain. Go look at a picture of this kid, guys. You'll know it. I mean, if you was in school with this kid, you would bully him. You don't even try to tell me you wouldn't. I don't care how good of a person you are. There's no freaking way in hell you'd be on this kid's side in the middle of any hallway altercation. There's
Oh
just not going
yeah.
to happen.
Even I, who was kind of a bullied outcast, I would have bullied him, and like
Yeah, I would have been sitting there.
he
Thank
has
God they're not looking at me now.
he just has that air. There's something wrong, you know.
Yeah. Bullying is bad. Everybody agrees with that, but it
But
happens. It's
maybe in
nature.
his
It either
particular
bends you or
case,
breaks you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe they didn't do it right. I don't know. I'm not trying to say bullying should be used. I'm just saying if you're going to do it fucking right. This kid should have never had the courage to go in there and do this shit.
so yeah, the first shots, the morning announcements were going on, and
Principal was in the office conference room having a
yeah,
meeting with a parent who was extremely lucky to have not had the human courage to walk out the door and see what the commotion was about.
yeah, I kind of
Unfortunately, the
imagined it was
principal
like
did her
South Park.
job.
I imagine it was like South Park when all the school shootings were going on, and like the teachers just started talking louder. um,
Well, the principal got up and did her job and went to go check out what the commotion was. And unfortunately, she was, I think she was the first one to meet him. And, well, unfortunately, she got shot. She did not make it. Um, Somebody in the office keyed the microphone so it would
Yeah,
let
well, they were
everybody in the
already
building know
they
this
already had it
happened.
on. They already had the microphone on because they were doing the morning announcements. And the first gunshots came over, and they stopped doing the announcements. They had left the microphone on.
Yeah, so
Like
yeah,
they
just
got down under
imagine
their
what's
desk
coming
and
through
shit.
there.
You know.
Um, there were a couple of teachers that I would love to actually have written their names down, while I was, driving for work. So it was kind of impossible. I wish I could remember their names, but yeah, anybody that actually hears it and knows it, they know who they are. And of course, the ones that did, they know exactly who they are. They deserve the biggest shout out. There were teachers in here that heard this going on, and they immediately got their kids that were in their class together, pulled them into a cubby, closet that's out of view of the door. There was one that packed them all. I think she had 17 kids plus herself in a small little bathroom in the back of her closet, in the back of her classroom. Sorry.
Yeah.
And they just sat there and talking with these kids and reading to them and playing little games and stuff to try to keep these kids' attention on themselves at the current instead of focusing on what's going on. They kept them calm as they could, and they pulled them through there. And I really wish I had their names to read them off, but yeah, those were really good heroes out of this whole story.
Yeah.
But yeah, he made the left-hand turn and went to the youngest of the kids in this elementary school.
Yeah. There was a he started off with the office, then he moved down to the hallway. Um, he entered a first grade classroom where Lauren Rasu was a substitute teacher. She had moved, she was the ones who had moved her first grade students to the back and tried to hide them in a bathroom when he came into the classroom. Um, so Rasu, the teacher, and a behavioral therapist who had been employed there to work with a special needs student, and 15 students in that class were killed. 14 of the children were dead at the scene. One injured child was taken to the hospital for treatment, but later died. Most of the teachers and students were found crowded together in the bathroom. A 6-year-old girl, the sole survivor, got found following the shooting. She had hidden in the corner of the bathroom, and she survived basically by playing dead. When she got to her mom, she supposedly said, quote, "Mommy, I'm okay, but all my friends are dead." The child described the shooter as a very angry man.
Well,
There was another boy in the classroom screaming, "Help me, I don't want to be here." To which Adam said, "Well, you're here," followed by some hammering sounds. So, like, he was going into classrooms looking under desks, popping them under the desk, and they're grinning at him. Yeah, what were you saying, Mike?
I was just saying, yeah, I bet you he did look like an angry man at the time. I just can't even fathom what was going through those kids' minds. Except this one was really hard. I mean, you're talking about little kids, man.
Yeah, this
I
one was
mean, it's
rough,
bad
man.
enough at any school, but when you're going after, 7, 8-year-olds, come on, you're just a little punk.
And like our listeners may notice, I'm a little less jovial about this one than I normally am. Even with the worst ones, I'm pretty jovial. This one kind of bums me out, guys. So
Yeah,
uh,
it's really hard to make lighthearted of anything, on these. But yeah, well, I mean, we're detached from these because these happened, a while back, and we were not involved. So yeah, we usually try to stay, lighthearted about pretty much everything in life, including the tragedies. Because we're supposed to grow and move forward from them, accept them as they are, learn from it, and try to find a way to move on. Well, some of us, our way to move on is to mourn it, accept it, learn from it, and then try to find a way to deal. And some of us deal with a little bit of humor. It's dark humor, but it's all based in a good spot. But this one, yeah, you're probably not going to hear much humor out of it.
yeah, unless I'm ripping on this guy or some of the idiots that were involved. But
Yeah, yeah, we'll definitely be making fun of this guy. Yeah.
yeah. So he goes through a couple of classrooms, and this is all within the space of 5 fucking minutes. He gets there at 9:35, and at 9:40, police hear the final shot. Um, he shot himself in the lower rear portion of his head, which is kind of weird. He just put the gun behind his head, but whatever. With his Glock 20 SF in classroom 10. Um,
Yeah, he fired 154 rounds. Yeah, that's man, that is horrible. In 5 freaking minutes. Now, yeah, he was using an AR-15 framed, you know, assault rifle, so to speak, semi-automatic rifle, and like I said, he left that. We mentioned he left that shotgun in the car for some reason. Um, but yeah, it's terrible. I just don't know where to go with this guy. It's fucking unbelievable that somebody could just walk into a school, a grade school, and just carelessly and without feeling just go through and shoot kids like this. And it's all because I think that he wasn't put into a institution when he was younger, and he didn't get the attention that he actually should have received a long time before this.
I mean, I feel like maybe he should have just had his ass whipped a few times as a kid. Like, this is one of those times I think corporal punishment might have been a good answer. Maybe he would have just become a serial killer.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, it didn't work for Whitman back in the day, so I
Well,
can't really say that it would work, but he definitely deserved a little more attention when he was growing up, for sure.
yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, he's like probably the biggest piece of shit I've had to look into. And I've read books about Hitler and Stalin and fucking Ted Bundy. I've read about some big pieces of shit. Reading about this guy really fucking pissed me off. Um,
Right?
so the families of the two first graders who died in the shooting filed a lawsuit against the city of Newton and the Newton Board of Education, alleging inadequate security at the school. Um, they also the parents of the children and teachers killed in the shooting had filed lawsuits against Nancy Lanza's as Adam's mother's estate. The suits are based on claim that she did not properly secure her firearms, which is true, which allowed her son, a person with severe mental health issues, to gain access to them.
That's a whole nother thing. What you've got a kid that has issues to the point where you warn the damn babysitter, don't turn your back on this one. Do not leave him alone. Okay. This is the kid we're talking about. And you're going to go and you're going to buy weapons and you're going to take him out to the gun range to what? Try to find him his, release from his anxiety issues.
Yeah,
Are you
that's a good
fucking
idea.
kidding me?
That's a good idea. Teach him that the way to deal with his problems is by firing guns. That's a real good idea.
Right. So
Don't teach him how to fucking build a shed or something.
This is one of the few times that I would actually lay fucking blame solely on the parent, more than I do the piece of shit that did it. Because she was fully complicit in this. She knew she had a fucked up kid. She knew his motherfucker wasn't thinking straight, and she went and bought guns to bring into the house. And not only that,
Taught him how to
taught
use
this
them
kid how to use
effectively.
them.
He wounded 2 and killed 28.
Yeah, out of all this mess, there was 3. There's only 3 that went to the hospital to get treated. Everybody else died.
Yeah, well, one of the ones that went to the hospital to get treated died. That was one of the kids.
Oh, okay. So yeah, well, one of those, yeah, but yeah, 3 to the hospital out of this whole entire ordeal, and yeah, one of those died. Yeah, son of a bitch is fucked up.
Right? Like, it's hard to wrap your head around this fucking piece of shit. Although I did learn a new word, pedicide.
Decide?
I immediately knew what it meant, but
I do too, and I've never heard that before.
I've never heard or seen it until I just now did when I'm on this thing where it's about the attack type, and it says school shooting, murder, suicide, pedicide, matricide. I'm like, yeah, well, I guess that would fit.
That's the first time you saying that is the first time I heard that, and it really does smack you in the brain. Like, yep, that's what that is.
Yeah, no thoughts about it. I already know.
Yep.
Nine families filed a class action lawsuit against Remington Firearms, seeking unspecified damages.
Come on, people, come on.
Well,
Really?
they claimed an exemption from some earlier act that would allow it would allow such a suit to go through.
I don't care. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I disagree with them on this one. They eventually dismissed the case. The lawyers filed for a second motion for dismissal a month later. It was pretty much done with.
This is the only damn time that you actually get away with trying to sue a company for making a product that works exactly how it's advertised.
Yeah. At least
That's bullshit.
At least Charlton Heston didn't show up the next day to do an NRA rally in that town, like he did at Columbine.
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, when you got to fight fire with fire. I don't agree with it, but when the other side of the issue, not the other side of the aisle, comes up and starts fighting one thing for the gun control side, the very moment the shit comes on the news, I mean, you gotta kind of take your stance for the other side as quick as possible. I don't agree with it at all, but I understand it. But and we could talk about all those other things until we're blue in the face about what we should or shouldn't do to control things, but suing the gun manufacturers is the one thing that is absolutely fucking moronic from my perspective and in my opinion. Now, other people may have their views, and I fully respect it, and I hope you respect mine. But it's the only place that you can sue somebody for making a product that works exactly as it's supposed to. It did not malfunction. It didn't do anything other than what it was designed to do. Now, the gun can't do it by itself. So what the hell does a gun company have to do with it? The gun did not get up out of its fucking closet, get in the car, drive itself to school, and walk down the hallways hunting for kids. A guy did that. Adam fucking Lanza did that. His parents were complicit in not making sure he went to a mental institution or at least got fucking evaluated properly. His mother fully complicit because she bought the weapons and brought them to the house and put him in the hands of this killer. All that I can fucking agree with. But to go after the gun manufacturer, they had nothing to do with it. All they did was design a product that the vast majority of Americans want, and they designed the most popular version of it that worked perfectly.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. I don't have the same hard stance on guns, but I'm also I'm a proponent of personal autonomy, and they had nothing to do with this. They didn't do this. Now,
I would hope you at least on the side of let's put the blame where it belongs and not finding your scapegoat.
Eventually, though, actually on February 15th of this year, 2022, Remington agreed to settle for $73 million.
I mean, good on them for doing. I wouldn't have called it a settle. I would have said, "Hey, look, I'm not going to pay you for trying to sue me or nothing, but we will put up this amount of money into whatever foundation you want to put up to prevent gun violence." I
Well,
wish
I
they
mean,
would have
they
went that
took it,
direction.
it went all the way to the Supreme Court, like the United States Supreme Court, but they refused to hear the appeal, so it allowed the original suit that held up in Connecticut to proceed. In 2021, a judge refused to dismiss this lawsuit, and after that, Remington said, "All right, let's just fucking settle this." They initially offered 33, but then they upped it a year later to 6 months later to 73 million, and that they agreed
To
on
me,
that.
that just lets everybody know, yeah, you can sue us. You're not going to win the suit, but you're still going to get money for pointing at us to blame. Like, come on, no.
Yeah, well, I mean, they would have had to been. I mean, people's families would have been dragged into court to discuss the worst event of their lives. I mean, they paid that 73 million to keep the people who won't involved, who won't try to sue them, to keep them at peace. You know,
Hey, then they need to step up and tell
that's
these
how
other folks
that's
that
what
are
I
trying to
think
do
they
this
did.
shit, you need to sit your ass back down because we're not going through this. And if you're trying to sue somebody for millions and millions of dollars, especially the person who has nothing to do with it, then you deserve to have to state your case, every
Yeah.
gory detail of it.
I never saw what happened with the lawsuit against his mother's estate. I hope they got every bit of it. Uh, his father, I can't hate on his father because his father one had left. His father wasn't there, right? And
Yeah.
so he said in an interview sometime after the shooting that he had wished his son had never been born.
Well, I'm
And
not saying that he is fully to blame,
no, I don't.
except
I
for
don't
on the part
actually. I
that,
don't
hey,
blame his
you
father that
were
much
in
at
this
all.
kid's life and you seen this kid growing up. You might have left, but you left a mess behind. I ain't saying he should be punished in any way, really, but if you're going to toss blame and you're going to throw shade, he
Both of the
deserves a little
parents,
bit of it
her
too.
way more than him. I don't think because he had been gone for a few years.
Oh, her absolutely
I
100%.
don't
She should have been
think
locked
I
up.
don't think he was as aware of what was going on as she was, or as she should have fucking been.
Yeah,
Because
oh, she was aware. She was aware.
you know,
There's no fucking way in hell you're raising something like that in your fucking house and you're not aware. There's no fucking way. He wasn't trying to hide it. I don't think he could hide it. You can't hide that kind of mentality behind that face.
it probably came down to him just basically saying, "Look, either we're doing something with him, he's getting the fuck out of this house, going to a hospital or something, or I'm fucking going." And
It might have been something like that. I could actually see that. I ain't saying it is, but I could
because
believe it.
he was always a little bit harder on him, and the mother was like, "Oh, he's got issues. He's a little soft." So I think he finally kind of walked is like, "All right, fine. Here's enough money. Take care of everything. I'm not going to be here for this." And like I said,
Look, so when I say something about this guy's looks, I mean, I'm not really just making fun of it. I mean, this kid was so fucking crazy. It actually appears like it manifested itself in his face. The guy looks fucking insane.
yeah, I mean, there's some people who are like, "Oh, he's just like a nerdy weird kid," and it's like, no, I'm a nerdy weird kid.
No. If you was to look up fucking criminally insane in the dictionary, it should have a picture of this kid beside it. If you look like this, go get checked out.
Yeah,
Seriously.
he looks like his eyes look like either like Marshall Applewhite from like oh, what was it, Heaven's Gate. He's got Marshall Applewhite eyes, and maybe a little touch of Charles Manson in there too. The Kubrick stare is strong with this kid.
I'm sitting here right now looking at 4 different pictures of this guy throughout different years, and he's got the exact same look.
The look on his face. I've seen it somewhere before, man. Clockwork Orange. Fucking.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't seen that. Haven't
Oh
seen
man,
any of it.
there's if you just Google Clockwork Orange Alex, I'm sure you'll see the picture of it. Let me. I'll look that up myself. Google. Even with the way his fucking mouth turns when he grins.
Oh yeah, I see a grinning picture there. Yeah, goddamn.
Right? And if you're looking at just the one with him in that bowler hat staring straight at the camera, that looks like his fucking elementary school picture, Adam's elementary school picture. That same wide stare, that U-shaped grin, just malice, pure malice.
Let's just, okay, for folks that aren't willing to go and look this up, I'm going to attempt something here, and I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to any fucking way because, fuck it. If I was to try to describe this to a sketch artist or something like that, and you were to take a look at the final picture after I described this, what you would probably see is, the general depiction of an alien gray with a surprised look on his face. That's looking like, oh fuck, there are things here that can talk. Or what the fuck are these goddamn mostly bags of water? That's how I would have to describe it. He looks like a fucking alien that's come down. It's like, oh my god, what the fuck are these people?
Right? Jesus. Hey, guess what? Just got a notification. So, doing a shout out for Dustin Johnson, fucking Agent Johnson. I knew you were out there somewhere, buddy. He's a new patron. We have
Wonderful.
a patron now.
Hello.
Look at that.
Welcome to the club.
Yep, I worked with Dustin, and for a while I was actually pretty convinced that he was a federal agent that had been placed there to spy on me, because I'd be in like the hotel room with the other guys, all smoking and whatnot, chilling, rolling joints, and he would just sit in this chair and quietly watch the room. But we ended up kind of bonding, and I taught him how to roll joints, and yeah, he's a fucking great kid. He's a veteran too, so shout out for his veteran service. But anyway, yeah, back to enough talking about cool dudes. Back to pieces of shit. So Alex fucking Jones.
Went from one piece of shit to another piece of shit.
Yeah,
Hey.
at least there was some nice clean toilet paper. Dustin's our toilet paper. Oh shit! Now see, I've lost my notes. It shouldn't be. I could probably just re-Google the whole thing. Oh wait, no wonder. I'm on the fucking. I'm on the Aurora notes. I'm like, where's Alex Jones? I'm on my Aurora notes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wasn't in on that one.
No, but I wish I could blame him for it. All right, so
yeah,
April 17th, 2018. So a good 6 years after the fucking event. Radio host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, folks. He got sued for defamation by 3 of the parents. So way before this, like right after the shooting, he claimed that it was completely fake. It was a hoax perpetrated by people who are trying to take our guns, folks.
Yeah, he was saying that everybody involved is an actor. All the kids, all the parents, all the teachers, all the cops.
Yeah, people who buried their kids. Like this piece of shit. And what's worse is his fucking followers, right? Like if he had just said it and it went out on the airways and people were like, huh, that'd have been one thing. That'd been bad enough.
Yeah,
but his fucking followers
took a life of its own.
His followers went and fucking like attacked family members, survivors of the shooting, like physically harmed people. He later claimed he tried to take it back. He backpedaled it, but even so, 6 more families sued him for his claims. Before the trial even got started, he was found in contempt of court. And the whole trial, its trial's still going on. Most recently, his lawyers, quote unquote, accidentally sent.
He's settled. He's settled. He's
no.
He's paid.
I see here
millions.
August 5th, 4.1 million, and an additional 45 million in punitive damages.
Yeah.
Good.
He paid. Yeah, good. He paid for it.
Like Alex Jones, he he's a big piece of shit. Now in his earlier
I'd have
days,
probably hit him harder than that. I would have liked it for all right, every single one of the episodes that you have put out there and you have made money on from the day that you said this, every bit of that money that you have made from that day to today goes to these people. All your advertising money, all your subscription monies, every fucking dime that he has made from the day he uttered those words should have been remanded to these people. So I'd have hit him harder.
yeah.
I mean, come on. If you're going to come up with a conspiracy about this, how about just keeping it with the normal conspiracy that the shooter was paid to go and do this shit to take our guns? I could even kinda, sorta, relate to that. I don't believe it, but I mean, it's believable. The fact that you got a whole entire town to, all of a sudden set up a movie about the most horrific fucking thing to happen in United States history. No. That's absolute stupidity.
Yeah. He's in his earlier days, like he did some fairly decent, if not shady, journalism. Like he went to the Shady Grove or whatever, where all the politicians go and meet like every year, and they like burn some sort of effigy of an owl or something like that. And it is like a really weird thing. It actually fucking happens. But he was the one that like kind of blew the whistle on that, and then he just fucking went bananas. I think for the outro music, I'm going to use a song I found on YouTube where it's just claims he's made, where they just put it together in a song. It's pretty great. He described tap water as a gay bomb and claimed that chemicals put in the water have made frogs homosexual, and that without any evidence to support it, the majority of frogs in the United States are gay. He's a fucking nut job.
Yeah. Fuck Alex.
This dude, it's like, I understand being a conspiracy theorist. I am to a degree. I believe that the government assassinated JFK. I sometimes question our moon landings. I question a lot of things. But
There's a lot of things to question.
But for fuck's sake, folks. you go down too far on that rabbit hole and you lose touch with reality. And his show was really, his whole time he had his show, I think he still does, I don't know. He was.
I don't know if he still is or not. I know he was, until this trial and
he was.
settlement. I know
he's
he
basically
was.
a snake oil salesman. His whole show was basically to get people's attention, so that he could then do little ad things on these like vitamin supplements that he was like a part of. Like I think they got tested and found out that it was like 30% sawdust. Like it was just nonsense. But mercury with chalk or some shit, red flannel. Yeah, brain pills.
Planet.
Yeah, just fucking weird shit. He was just a snake oil salesman, and he'd say these catchy things to get people listening to him. And yeah, he's a piece of shit. And I hope he never fucking recovers from this financially.
Yeah, sadly, he's got a following. They'll support his ass. Stupid people do what stupid people do. But yeah, that's the stupidity that we have to deal with in this world. Is you've got a whole family and apparently a whole bunch of professionals that dealt with this kid from the time he was 3 years old until just a few weeks before this event, that should have been raising all kinds of red flags with the professionals and with the parents. And then after this crap, you've got some piece of shit that's trying to undermine the real lesson that we should all fucking learn by trying to say it was all fucking fake.
Yeah. And he didn't do it with Sandy Hook. He also claimed that Stone Douglas shooting was fake, and that's where the whole David Hogg thing comes in.
Yeah, like I said, there was something I wanted to look up with David Hogg, and I can't find it. I do remember seeing it.
Yeah,
when
man,
all
you
this
talked
crap
about
come
it,
out.
like, because he was in this shooting, and then he was in another one, right?
Yeah, across the country or something
And
like
yeah,
that.
I had
Yeah,
seen something about
I don't
that.
remember it. And I wanted to look it up. We
But that
tried to
might
look
have
it up.
they might have removed it. It might have been misinformation from fucking Alex Jones.
Or it might have been a Mandela effect. I don't know.
Yo,
We can't
that
find
can't-
anything about it now, so I'm off of that. I can't
Yeah,
find any evidence to back up my idea that I wanted to talk about. So
Yeah, because
I'm forget
I
about
made the statement that David Hogg was either a crisis actor or one of the most unlucky people in the history of the earth, and that's
I
like
remember
lightning
making
striking
a statement
twice.
like that before.
But even if so, remember Aurora, that woman who took a trip to Canada, narrowly missed being killed in a mass shooting, and then 7 weeks later died in the theater. So lightning apparently strikes more often than lightning in this particular case. You know,
Well, lightning does strike the same place twice. I'm not saying it couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was on the same line like you had stated it. I was like, either this guy is a paid actor, or he is just extremely unlucky. And like I said, I can't find any evidence one way or the other, so we're going to go with unlucky and let it ride,
in fact, there's a precedent for it now with I think her name was Jennifer. You know, Jessica. Yeah, there's a precedent for it now, and it's like apparently mass shootings happen more often than lightning strikes. So
this day and age, they're definitely picking up.
Dude, every day,
it does seem like it's every day.
Like
while researching this and looking up stuff for me to listen to, I happened to run across something that happened today. I was researching for this discussion. There's another piece of shit. Apparently it was in Memphis, riding around, streaming live to Facebook, and went on a little bit of a shooting spree.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, this little piece of shit he's walking down the street, what, you think I'm faking? You think I'm faking? Opens up a damn parts house door and just shoots some fucking random person inside and goes out and keeps on going about his fucking day. And I don't know all the details about it because this story was still developing and, it is still developing, but last I saw it was 4 people killed, 2 wounded, and he was in custody. So I think it's over. But I mean, fuck, folks, what the hell?
Yep. In fact, on my when I posted in the episode description for Aurora shooting, I put in there, if you want less episodes about mass shootings, do less mass shootings. So
yeah. That's definitely the way to end this crisis, people, is let's stop shooting every damn body. Quit holding your anger in until you explode on children. Quit holding this shit back until you have to go into a theater and kill everybody. Ask these questions to a freaking professional first, more than once, because they don't believe you the first time.
Yeah. And then when they do, like, nobody listens. Like in the case of Aurora, like the psychiatrist went and told everybody, and it didn't make a difference. Didn't save a single life.
Mm-mm. I said we don't know what the issues are. It's a multifaceted problem. We know that guns play a part in it. Mental health plays a part in it. Upbringing plays a part in it. Bullying plays a part in it. It's humanity.
I'm back to thinking it's some sort of like mass hysteria, like like during the Salem witch trials, something to that effect.
Well, I saw an unrelated video while the rabbit hole was going through on the tube, and it come up with a discussion about a recent speech, and it led into something about how to initiate mass hysteria and mass psychosis. I did not finish that one, but because I was trying to find another one that got back onto the topic at hand. But it was just an interesting thing on that, which also brought up another deal about the levels of genocide, and there's supposed to be like 10 levels, 10 steps to genocide, and supposedly we're on number 6, and we'll be looking into that a little bit deeper too. But yeah, mass psychosis, it might be a thing. You're not the only one to think that so far.
Yeah. So what are we doing next? We're going to get on to, I guess, Las Vegas next. Is there anything really big we need to touch on between then and there? Oh wait, no, we got to do Pulse. Pulse was
Yeah,
before
Pulse.
Vegas, right?
I think Pulse was the year before. I think we're gonna have to double check on that, but yeah, it's definitely one of those. It's either going to be the Pulse nightclub shooting or Las Vegas. Would you really? You can't call him a sniper, even though it was up high on what 32nd floor.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
something like
mean,
that. I don't know. I haven't done any research on it yet.
yeah, I think we're in the realm for one of those.
Yeah,
That stuff looks.
it happened in 2016, and the Vegas was 2017, right?
Yeah, I think that's the order of it. Yeah. I do. I seem to remember the Pulse being a thing before Vegas was.
Yeah,
Man, that sounds fucked up to say shit like that.
right. And I
Damn,
would,
people, get your
yeah,
shit together.
and I think this is the first one we're going to be talking about, except for no, maybe the Utah prisoner of war thing. Maybe that one was a hate crime, but we'll be talking about our first hate mass murder, except for maybe the Utah prisoner of war.
Which one you talking about there being the hate?
The Orlando nightclub shooting.
Yeah, I think I remember. Like I said, I haven't looked into it recently yet deeply. I think I do remember something about that being an issue.
Yeah,
Wasn't he one of the from the Arabian area?
yeah, he was. Yeah, I don't know too much about him except that he was like a member of ISIS, or like right after the shooting began, he swore allegiance to the leader of ISIS.
Yeah, I remember. The only thing I remember is he yelled out "Allah Akbar" before it started. That's the only thing I remember out of it.
The hard line of ISIS on homosexuality and LGBT, alphabet peoples. Like they're pretty violent against them, and like that's why he chose the target he did. That's really all I know about it now, without doing any research.
So yeah, we'll be finding out all about that on our next talk.
Yeah.
Another deep dive into the realm of a madman. Oh boy.
God damn it! I mean, we need to do a break in sometime in the middle. Can we do something about, like, I don't know, the life of Leslie Nielsen? Or maybe we could do a whole episode talking about Monty Python or South Park.
I don't know if we can do Monty Python without getting in trouble.
Why? You have so many good bits. You have the dead parrot. You have the crucifixion thing. We keep on always look on the bright side of life. You got the Ministry of Silly Walks. All of these are so much better than mass murder.
Well, maybe that was the daggone problem. If we took out raunchy humor and and made it to where we really don't have a way to express ourselves when we have some fucked up thoughts.
I mean, they still South Park is coming back. They got a little bit too hardcore on the PC-ness for a little bit, but I was a little fan and I stuck with them, and they're coming back.
Yeah, I'm a little fan of South Park. I did not like it when they got stuck on a topic for more than 2 episodes.
Yeah,
move on. Let's talk about something else. There's
I'm
plenty
okay
of material
with changing things around, and I'm okay with keeping things kind of back. But I'm glad Randy gave up the pot farm, man. There's just too much tally.
Well, I could have went either way, but it definitely needed to be more than the show becoming about the pot farm.
Yeah, and that's
as much as I love talking about pot farms.
Yeah, and I love that Cartman lives in a hot dog now.
That is hilarious. I love that part.
I also love how fucking he became the top fucking real estate agent anywhere. And his reasoning behind it was great. Like, my mom's a real estate agent. My mom's fucking stupid. They don't do anything. And all the city people, edamame, metal bottle water, edamame, Wi-Fi. It's fucking great. Like, I almost pissed myself first time I seen it. I was like, and when I seen that, and then the airsoft episode, bruh. I was like, yeah. I was like, South Park's back.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Tell me where to wear pajamas. But yeah, so they finally got over that shit. Hopefully they keep on the track they are. But this has been South Park Talk with Richard and Mike. And actually, we could almost do a whole podcast. When we were talking about a podcast, it did come up. We could just do a South Park podcast. We counted the number of South Park references and quotes we did in an average day just hanging out with each other, and it was well over 100, wasn't it?
Pretty damn close.
And like that's not we weren't even trying. We just when we noticed a South Park reference come out, we'd take notation of it. It was ridiculous. So we could.
It's a good show.
It's a great show. It's how I keep up with current events.
Yeah, they start making fun of something. You're like, wait a minute, what did I miss?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, the stuff I had to look up. I had no fucking clue shit was going on.
They told me all I needed to know about Game of Thrones. Like,
Console Wars.
oh yeah, they covered that pretty well. Stop talking to my betrayal. Stop walking through my betrayal garden.
Oh man. Oh shit, man. We getting sidetracked.
The fuck just happened to you there, buddy?
Oxygen depletion. It's a bitch.
Did you pass away on me? I thought you were a victim of a mass shooting. I guess like, oh my god. Fucking the next Adam Lanza.
I made it. It's been swatted. Take off. Run. They're coming.
But
no, don't go to Dave Chappelle for way on that.
Yep. So, well,
There's a joke in there.
This has been the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, and also a brief biography and dissertation on the biggest piece of shit I've ever read about.
Yeah, don't raise kids like this.
Yeah.
Or Alex Jones.
I think Adam Lanza is a good argument for like abortion rights. Had his
Late
mother
term abortion.
Had his mother
Like-
got an abortion, we wouldn't, maybe a lot of other kids could have lived and grown up to be like, who knows, the next president or person to cure cancer could have died in that little bathroom in the fucking classroom 8 because of this piece of shit. So
If it gets rid of the next Adam Lanza, I would be okay with 500 month trimester abortion. 37th trimester. I don't care.
what was that
Just
on
get rid of
South
the
Park
piece of
when Cartman's mom was trying to get him aborted? Like, well, you're in what we like to call your 65th trimester.
Yeah. If it was Adam Lanza, I'd be okay with it. And I'm not okay with it, but I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, this piece of shit.
Yeah.
At least he saved the government some money and killed himself. There you go. He should have just killed himself. Maybe his mother too. There's arguments that could be made, but he should have just killed his fucking self.
Yeah, it would have sure be a whole lot better if he had a. We wouldn't be having this particular conversation, but don't worry, we'd have definitely had another one to cover. We've got 40 or 50 more to go. Oh my God.
Oh,
We're not going to be covering all of them.
No, I think we're gonna hit Pulse. We're gonna hit Vegas, and I think then we'll jump into the conversation.
Well, we're going to have to talk about Uvalde.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Uvalde. Jeez,
Definitely
there's
going to have to talk
fucking
about
many.
that one. And I'm pretty sure by the time we get to that one, we'll have another one to put on top of it.
Remember, like maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago, if we decided we want to sit down and talk about mass shootings, we could have maybe been at it for an hour.
Probably.
Remember the good old days when you could just think of all the recent mass shootings in the past 10 years? I don't even know how many there are in the past 2 weeks. Like, it's getting fucking out of hand.
And
So-
let's not forget that we have to actually put in there, even if it's a little footnote, almost, if not more than what actually happened. We don't know, but there are mass shootings that are stopped almost as frequently as the shootings happen. if not more. I don't know the date on that because it doesn't get reported and that's the sad thing. Somebody stops a mass shooting. Like there was one in a mall where one of the patrons of the mall actually shot the shooter. Um, I can't tell you what mall it was at. I can't tell you the name of the guy. I can't tell you how many people. It just didn't get covered very much. It was maybe 2 days in the news and gone.
I
We
remember
need to
something
talk about
it.
those people more. We have to talk about those people more. And not in the fact that, oh, this guy broke the law by bringing his gun into the mall, and it doesn't matter if he shot the criminal. Yes, it fucking matters that he shot the goddamn criminal. How many more minutes would it took for the cops to get there and decide to do something? How many more people would have died had that Samaritan pulled out his weapon and solved the problem? We don't know, but we know it would have been worse than what it was.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I'm not against people having guns. It's like they're already out there, so there's nothing you can do about that now. You can't put Pandora's shit back in the box.
And I'm not promoting vigilantism either. We shouldn't have people going out and trying to solve crime all by them damn selves. But if you're carrying a weapon to protect yourself because you're worried about, the dangers of society or the dangers of the government or whatever the fuck you're afraid of, that makes you carry a gun. And I carry a gun. I am afraid of the fucking mass public.
If you are in a position to potentially save countless lives, like an unknown number of lives, if you're in the position to potentially save one innocent life, you kind of have a duty as a human being.
Absolutely.
So if you're
willing to protect yourself and your family with lethal force, as you should be if you're going to carry a weapon, then you should have the fortitude, the humanity, whatever you want to put onto this. You should have the wherewithal, whatever fancy word we can put on
gathering
there,
together
to
posse.
expand your circle to anyone that you are currently in view of or in earshot of.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean gathering up a posse and forming lynch mobs, because that shit ain't good either. But if you're in a position to stop somebody, I mean, then yeah, absolutely.
And don't go chasing after them if they run off. No, you stop the danger at the moment. That is all you should do. Don't go chasing after him. You probably make it worse. You probably scared him off and he's dropped his gun. You don't know what happened after that point. Just stop the danger now. Which, like if you've got what you think is the responsibility of your own personal self to carry a weapon in public, then your circle of concern should be bigger than just you.
Yeah, it should. Well, that being said, I guess now you like what you hear. Maybe not the story, but if you like listening to us, you can find us on Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts. Amazon Music. You can find us on Audible. We're on Podchaser. I think we're also on Google Podcasts. I'm not 100% sure. I gotta check on that. You can find us on Acast as well. Also stay on the lookout for my new upcoming show. Going to be called Charlie Manson's Fanny Pack, about serial killers and cults. If you like the intro and outro music, check out Wikluh Sky on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you listen to music.
Hell yeah.
Hit those likes, shares, comments. If you want to talk to us directly, you can either join our Patreon or you become a patron on our Patreon and get access to bonus content, or you can email us at stonerspointpod@gmail.com. And I think that's it. I already gave a shout out to Dustin, our first patron. But yeah, here's where I would do other shout outs if there were others to do. Join
the club, folks. Join the club.
Fuck yeah. And so basically that's all I got. You got anything else, Mike?
Check us out. We're getting some videos put up on the YouTube. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, the notification bell, and all that good stuff over there. Leave a comment to help break that algorithm that YouTube has got over there. Because we're talking about shooting, that stuff's going to get, kind of cut back to where it's not going to get out very much, simply because the topic matter.
Well, I uploaded the Columbine episode today, and it already has like 6 views. So, I mean,
Well, I'm not saying that people aren't going to be able to find it, but you know, YouTube's not going to promote it. So it's going to rely on you folks to promote this kind of stuff in every topic that is any kind of controversial as well. So hit those likes, hit the thumbs up, you know, leave a comment, even if it's, you know, negative towards us, we can take it. We're adults. You know, we're not going to go on a rampage.
yeah, don't worry. You're not going to shatter my self-image.
You can't break something that's broke.
Oh.
And I'm referring to both of us, not just you. So yeah, folks, as always, it's been a pleasure having this conversation. I'm glad you're here with us, and for definitely, you know, stick around. You know, we got more, and it's going to get more interesting. And as we, you know, figure out our path through the technical side of this, it will get better sounding as well. I promise, we're getting there.
Yep. So fuck around and find out. Sorry about that pause. I was distracted. But yep. So fuck around and find out, guys. And yeah, I'm a piece of shit. Everybody, just go ahead and leave us a comment about that. 1-star review. Richard got fucking distracted and forgot that he was even in the recording area.
It's going to sound better. Silence. All right, folks, we'll catch you on the next one, guys.
Yep. And if you're still listening, okay, Google.